Hey everybody, it's James Hernandez and welcome to a brand new episode of Characters Face Off. And this is Characters Face Off episode 30. That's right everyone, we are at the 30th episode of the Characters Face Off series. And for today's episode is going to be a battle between two martial art fighters from two fighting game franchises in the fighting game genre. So today we have Ryu from Street Fighter versus Akira Yuki from Virtua Fighter. Which of these two martial art masters would win in a fight, and who is going to become the champion of the martial arts tournament? Well, today we're going to find out. So without further ado, let's do this. So first let's talk about Ryu. Now, Ryu is the main protagonist of the Street Fighter franchise created by Capcom. Orphaned at the young age and left with no memory of his parents, Ryu was found and raised by the martial artist master Gouken. Throughout most of his life, Ryu lived at his dojo training with Gouken alongside his sparring partner, Ken Masters. Now at the age of 23, Ryu left the dojo and he has since then conditionally wandered across the globe, always seeking to improve himself and wanting to meet and fight new people to become the champion in the World Tournament of the Street Fighter series. So without further ado, let's talk about his powers, abilities, skills, and feats. Now Ryu is actually a martial arts master since he is very skilled at his own martial arts. First being is the striking karate technique, which he uses firm stance, explosive straight punches, and low kicks, which is designed to break an opponent's guard. And second being is grappling judo, which he incorporates joint locks, throws and sweep the takedowns when he uses that when he fights like other Street Fighter characters in the series. Now the third one is philosophy, which while his style is traditionally used for the assassinations, Ryu practices it as the path to self improvement rather than distraction. And Ryu also has three iconic techniques. The first one is, we all know, is the Hadouken. The Hadouken is the ki blast and the fireball technique that Ryu uses it to aim towards his opponents in his battles when he does the pose for his hands. And the second one is the Shoryuken. The Shoryuken is when Ryu performs a leaping uppercut when he's in the air, which he uses that to use the uppercut move in any Street Fighter game, or even like in the other crossover games like with Marvel vs. Capcom or Tatsunoko vs. Capcom and so forth. Now, Ryu also has a special move called the Tatsumaki Senpurokyo, which is the Hurricane Kick. And that one involves like Ryu spinning horizon across the screen with his leg extended to strike his opponents. And he also performs like one of his special attacks called the Joden Shokordria, hope I'm saying that right, which is the high blade kick. And that one is strong enough to send opponents flying, and is also strong enough to kick opponents for light damage, heavy kicks them, and high damages them, and perform medium kicks. Now Ryu also can release electrical infuse chargeable attack called the Daijin Hadouken, and it can deliver a heavy stun damage with the finding of manic that can be charged to increase its speed, the hit count, and overall damage. Now Ryu can also use his vacuum tornado wordland leg, which is a powerful version of the Hurricane Kick, and it can hit nearby opponents and hit them directly multiple times rather than curving them across the screen. And Ryu also has devastating the super art called the Shin Shoryuken, also known as the True Rising Dragon Fist, which is a multi-hit technique where Ryu lands a gut-wrenching lead first strike or knee and finishes it with a memento, flame, or vacuum-infused uppercut. Now Ryu also has his super form, and it's called the Evil Ryu. The Evil Ryu is actually like the most aggressive version and the most powerful version of Ryu, and it features enhanced versions of Ryu's moves with faster attacks and access to Akuma's signature moves like the Raging Demon. Now, Ryu is also extremely durable, as he possesses like superhuman durability, with feats scaling to from building level combat endurance to surviving attacks that have multiple key and natural elements. Ryu can survive devastating blows from Sagat and even massive heavy weights like Hugo. Now, Ryu also has been taking direct hits from M. Bison's Psycho Power and the Sasyon no Hado, which is a Dark Hado. And so yeah, Ryu is actually a very tough guy, despite that he may look like a regular man, but he's actually more than that, since he is in fact superhuman in the Street Fighter series. Now, Ryu is a very tough guy with his feats. He has won the first World Warrior tournament. He was strong enough to lift a 36-ton boulder. He has done dodge gunfire in 6 seconds. He obliterated the skyscraper, survived Balrog's 5-ton gigaton blow. He has defeated Bison, Seth, Akuma, Oni, and Nacelle. And he even traveled around the world on foot. He survived Akuma's island-shattering strike. And his Sasyon no Hado was powerful enough to destroy Bangkok. I think that's what it's called. But however, Ryu does have his weaknesses, because Ryu was defeated by M. Bison during their first encounter. He firmly symbolizes fighting style. He does struggle against the Sasyon no Hado, and his super arts actually leaves him vulnerable if invaded. And he's also afraid of spiders, which I am not joking. So I guess that actually addresses that, like when he fights someone like Spider-Man in Marvel vs. Capcom, and there was the line where he was like, "Spiders, I hate spiders." But overall, Ryu is a skilled martial arts fighter in the Street Fighter universe with impressive technique and skills, including the Hadouken and the Shoryuken. From one martial arts master to another, now let's talk about Akira Yuki. Now, Akira is the main protagonist of the Virtua Fighter franchise created by Sega. Born into the infamous Yuki family dojo in Japan, Akira is a grandson of Sabrina Yuki, who developed martial art techniques to improve their fighting ability. He serves as the assistant instructor at a Yuki Budokan, and he is known to be the hot-blooded and impulsive by nature. Now, after completing his training under his grandfather's treatment Kalago at the age of 23, he went on a quest to test his abilities, and when he got the word of the first World Fighting Tournament, he decided to enter and test his abilities and skills when he encounters other characters in the Virtua Fighter series. But now it's time to talk about his powers, abilities, skills, and feats. Now, just like Ryu, Akira has martial arts skills, but his martial arts skills is actually completely different, because his martial art technique that he has is called the Benjai Quan. Now, the Benjai Quan is basically a martial arts technique that is actually from China, and he emphasizes close quarters combat, using stomping elbow strikes and shoulder charges to break through the opponent's defense. And Akira also rallies on disciplined human technique relentless training and mastering his physical form. And as a martial artist, Akira has impressive signature combat techniques. For example, he has his iconic move called the Tetsu no Hoko, which he can devastate some forward shoulder strike that unleashes explosive force. And he can also perform Byoko, Seno Hado, Sena, I hope I'm saying that right, so basically Japanese, obviously, which is actually powerful enough to strike and launch opponents like into the air, which is insanely crazy. So yeah, he is no joke when he does that. And the technique he has is the Moko Kohenzan, hope I'm saying that right, which Akira can also palm and fist strike driven by forward steps. He also has close range technique called the Yuha, which he can strike and from a crouch step design to pop opponents up for the combo follow-ups. Now, the guy is also pretty tough when it comes to his durability, because Akira has survived hits from Wolf, Hankfield, Jeffrey McWild, Cage Mura, Hinogama, hope I'm saying that right, and who collapsed on part of the building with a palm. And he also survived survived strikes from like Lo Chown and Jackie Bryant, who also survived his car explosion, and Lion Raffle, who survived an explosion which would destroy his Yachid, which is crazy. And Akira can shrug off the falling servo stories of the unfinished skyscraper, withstand extreme pressures at the bottom of the ocean depths while fighting Duro. And he has consistently withstand the blunt force impacts and strikes from heavy-hitting characters like Wolf, Jeffrey, and Got, and pretty much like all the other Virtua Fighter characters, obviously. Now, Akira is a pretty tough guy with his feats. He has won the Second World Fighting Tournament, he has defeated Duro, competes on an equal footing and elite fighters in the Virtua Fighter franchise. He was strong enough to like break the solid blocks, endure some attacks that would normally knock out an average human or possibly kill an average human. And yeah, those are his impressive feats in the Virtua Fighter series. But like always, like every character throughout the show, Akira does have his weaknesses. Because he does rallies heavily on straightforward strikes, his attacks really does lack circular or tracking capabilities, making him highly vulnerable to sidestepping or invasion tactics. He is notorious for demanding extremely precise timing and complex just to frame inputs, and he does not have any long I hope I'm saying that right, combo strings. He struggles with reliable low-hitting mix-ups, meaning patient opponents can offer turtle or crouch block against him, and he's known for being like such a hothead, and he's also pretty impulsive, and he doesn't really have any key techniques much like Ryu does. But overall, Akira is a very skilled fighter in the Virtua Fighter series with impressive martial art moves and great techniques. Alright everyone, now that I analyze these two characters, now it's time for me to talk about who would win this fight. Now, this one is actually going to be pretty close and is actually much tougher than I thought, because it seems that both Ryu and Akira does have their impressive techniques of their own martial arts throughout both the Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter series. But on the other hand, I actually do have the list of advantages that these characters have. So let's start with Ryu's advantages. So it seems that Ryu does have the rage zoning advantage, because in the Street Fighter series, Ryu actually does control space and pressure opponents from afar using energy projectiles, and he does have like those key techniques like the Hadouken and the Shoryuken, and he turns into Evil Ryu. And he also has the key advantage, which he does have like the energy, even the most like powerful Hadouken attacks, which is actually makes him extremely powerful. And he also has the invincible anti-air, which Ryu possesses reliable reserval and anti-air properties that can basically punish his opponents by jumping and attacks his opponents insanely. Now for Akira's advantages, he does have the close quarters martial art, the Benji Quan, because the Benji Quan is actually different than Ryu's martial arts, because despite that Akira might be Japanese, but he does have the martial arts style from China, because he does dominates in tight melee rages with lightning fast frame traps and elbows and mid attacks. And he also has a high damage punishment advantage, because Akira is known for pressure timing and devastating payoffs or moves on his famous Tessino shoulder strike, which is actually painful. And he also has the pure ground dominance, because Akira actually forces opponents into brutal guessing game of strikes, stuns, and knockouts. So those are pretty much the advantages that these two characters have. Now, in terms of who do I think is going to win this fight, while I do think that both Ryu and Akira are very impressive martial art masters, and they both can give them probably the most painful pressure points, especially from Akira. But in terms of who wins in a fight, I'm definitely going to have to say I'm going to have to give this fight to Ryu, and I'm going to tell you guys why that is. Now, don't get me wrong, Akira is actually very impressive with his martial arts skills, since he has the martial art technique from China. But when you look at Ryu Ryu does have a lot more advantages over Akira because, like I mentioned, he does have like the key techniques, and he basically is stronger, and I think he has like more experience than Akira. And while these two characters do have their similarities, like they both of them do like both of them actually do look very similar, because maybe it's because of the outfits, and both of them actually can travel around the world. Even Akira has to travel around the world, but it seems that Ryu, I think he has like more experience, and he's actually has much better training than Akira has. Whereas Akira actually does have great techniques, but his martial arts style is mostly based on the realistic real life martial art techniques, while Ryu, his techniques and his martial arts styles is actually like something that is like made from like superhuman or something. So especially like if Ryu turns into evil Ryu, it's not going to go well this plan for Akira, because Akira doesn't really have any key techniques, and he doesn't shoot fireballs, while Ryu does. So if Ryu and Akira actually met each other in the martial arts tournament, because that's where the fight usually takes place, I can see these characters actually look at each other thinking that like, oh, like this character has like has the same appearance as me, has like a mirror reflection, and I think that's what Ryu would obviously would say when he faces Akira. And then Akira would be like, oh, yeah, you really do look like me, but don't expect that we have like the same techniques, because we're basically are different, so show me what you got. And then Ryu accepts his challenge, and then that's where these two actually would fight. So I think in terms of like who is the actual winner, I'm definitely going to have to say Ryu is going to win this one, because he does have many advantages. Like he does have the Shoryuken, he does have the Hadouken, and he basically is pretty much like superhuman in the Street Fighter series, while Akira, while he is tough and his Chinese martial arts style can actually would give Ryu a heck of a fight, he doesn't really have like key techniques, and he basically isn't like overly superhuman like Ryu has. So obviously I do think that this fight can actually be pretty close, because Ryu and Akira are very skilled, and they both have really good techniques, and they both have high levels of durability. Now, when it comes to durability, I think I'm going to have to give this fight to Ryu, because I think Ryu's durability is actually way more like crazier and way more like powerful than Akira. Now, Akira does have his impressive durability in the Virtua Fighter games, but like when it comes to durability, that mostly goes to Ryu, because Ryu can actually scale to like Akuma, which I think I could be wrong, but I think like Akuma's is actually strong enough to like destroy like I don't know, maybe a mountain or something. I could be wrong though, because it's been quite a long time since I played half of the Street Fighter games. I haven't played all the Virtua Fighter games, but I did look at the research, and I did look of the history of Akira. So I do think this fight would be pretty cool to see these two martial art masters like fight each other in the tournament, because that's where the fight's obviously going to take place. So yeah, so I think with all that being said, like while I do think that Akira, does have like great techniques of defending himself, and his signature moves is no joke, but Ryu can actually surpass Akira's techniques. And he basically is actually much more trained, and I think he has like better training skills than Akira. And of course, he does have like signature moves like the Hadouken and the Shoryuken. And also when he turns into Evil Ryu, yeah, Evil Ryu is going to destroy Akira. So if Ryu actually turns into Evil Ryu when he fights Akira in the fight, then I don't know if Akira is going to survive that, or basically I don't know if he's going to last that long, because because Evil Ryu is so powerful and is basically the most violent version of Ryu. So obviously I do think that while I do think this fight would be close, and I think Akira will put up a heck of a fight against Ryu, but I definitely think that when it comes to durability and much better training as well as strength, I definitely have to say Ryu is going to be coming out on top. So looks like in the end, looks like Akira has been Hadouken. That was terrible. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, so the winner of this fight is Ryu.
You win.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys really enjoy my channel, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications when I make brand new videos. And stay tuned for the for future episodes of Characters Face Off, which I'm going to be announcing. And as for the next episode of Characters Face Off, is going to be a very special one because I'm not going to be alone on this one, because I'm going to have my best friend Pete, aka the Ready Player Pete Show, to be my co-host on. So Pete, if you're watching this or listening to this, get ready for the next episode of Characters Face Off, because it's going to be a very special one. And yeah, and I may, and feel free to stay tuned for me to make more videos. So overall, guys, hope you guys had a great day. Take good care of yourselves, and let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this episode of Characters Face Off? Did you guys agree or disagree? Is there something that I'm missing from these two characters? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. And stay tuned for the, like I said, stay tuned for the next episode of Characters Face Off, which Pete is going to be my co-host on, since he hasn't been my co-host since, I want to say episode 15, I guess. The last one was Nick versus Laszlo. So I'm really excited to have him to be my co-host for the next upcoming episode. So stay tuned, and he's going to be appearing in the next episode. So anyways, guys, hope you guys had a great day. Take good care of yourselves. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
It's getting